Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Hanani Husnina and today I will be presenting on the topic of pronouns. In this presentation, I will explain what pronouns are, why we use them, the different types of pronouns, and some common mistakes to avoid. I will also share a short story to show how pronouns make our sentences smoother and more natural. Okay, so what is a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. We use pronouns to avoid repeating names, to make sentences smoother, and to show relationships such as ownership, emphasis, or questions. For example, instead of saying Ali likes Ali's book, we can say Ali likes his book. This makes the sentence clearer and easier to read. To make this lesson more relatable, let's start with a short story, The Picnic by the Lake. In the story, Aisha and her friends use pronouns naturally. For example, she packed sandwiches. They brought fruits. This mat is mine. Did you notice how I use words like she, they, and themselves instead of repeating names? Without pronouns, the story would sound repetitive and robotic. This shows the importance of pronouns, like they replace nouns so our language flows naturally. Each pronoun replaces a noun and each type tells us something different, like identity, ownership, or relationships. This shows that pronouns are not just grammar rules, they are part of everyday life. So here, we can see the sentences broken down into pronouns and their types. For instance, she is a personal pronoun, ours is possessive pronoun, and yourselves is reflexive pronoun, and that is demonstrative pronouns. By analyzing the story this way, we can see how pronouns appear naturally in conversation, not just in textbooks. Okay, first, we have personal pronouns. These refer directly to people or things. They can act as subjects by using I, you, he, she, it, we, they, or as objects by using me, him, her, us, them. For instance, she is my friend uses a subject pronoun, while I saw him at the cafe uses an object pronoun. After personal pronouns, let's move to possessive pronouns which show ownership. Possessive pronouns indicate ownership. Examples include mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. For example, this book is mine. Unlike possessive adjectives such as my book, possessive pronouns stand alone. From ownership, we now move to reflexive pronouns which reflect the action back to the subject. Reflexive pronouns show that the subject and object are the same person. Examples are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. For instance, she blamed herself. Closely related are intensive pronouns which look the same but serve a different purpose. Intensive pronouns add emphasis. For example, I myself cleaned the room. If we remove myself, the sentence is still correct, but less emphatic. So reflexive pronouns reflect, while intensive pronouns emphasize. Next, let's look at demonstrative pronouns which point to specific things. Demonstrative pronouns include these, that, these, or those. We use these for things near and that or those for things far. For example, this is delicious versus those are expensive. From pointing, we move to questioning, which brings us to interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. Examples are who, whom, whose, which, or what. For instance, who is calling? Or which one is yours? In formal grammar, who is used for subjects, while whom is used for objects. These pronouns lead us naturally into relative pronouns which connect closest. So, relative pronouns link closest to nouns. Examples include who, whom, whose, which, that. For example, the student who studies hard will succeed. Here, who connects the clause studies hard to the noun student. Moving on, let's consider indefinite pronouns, which refer to non-specific thing or people. Indefinite pronouns include someone, anyone, everyone, nobody, few, many, all, something, anything, or everything. For example, everyone is welcome, or few understood the topic. These pronouns are useful when we don't want to know specific people or things. Finally, let's look at reciprocal pronouns which show mutual action. Reciprocal pronouns are each other and one another. For two people, we use each other. For more than two, we use one another. For example, they hug each other, or we help one another. Now that we have covered all 9 types, let's highlight some common mistakes. Of course, pronouns can be tricky. Common mistakes include confusing its and its, or mixing up who and whom. Another mistake is misusing reflexive pronouns like saying me taught myself instead of I taught myself. Paying attention to these details helps us write more clearly. Here's a quick challenge. Try saying the picnic story without pronouns. For example, Aisha packed Aisha's sandwiches. Amir brought Amir's fruits. You will notice how repetitive and heavy it becomes. Pronouns make language lighter, smoother, and more natural. In summary, pronouns replace nouns, but they also replace confusion with clarity. They show identity, ownership, and connection between people. Pronouns are not just grammar, they reflect how we relate to one another in everyday life. In conclusion, pronouns are words that replace nouns, and there are 9 types of pronouns: personal, possessive, reflexive, intensive, demonstrative, interrogative, relative, indefinite, and reciprocal. Using pronouns correctly makes our writing and speaking clearer, smoother, and more academic. Pronouns may be small words, but they have a big impact. They save us from repetition, they make sentences flow, and they connect ideas smoothly. Without them, language would feel heavy and robotic. With them, it feels human. So remember, pronouns, small words, big impact. Thank you for watching my presentation.